muito Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Beatriz, I'm your host. I will always be the host, so how are you doing today, everyone? So, what am I going to be doing for today's video? Basically, I did not know what videos I should put up this month, and I did a little brainstorm and I wanted to do a book tag. So I went online and I searched for a few book tags besides the mid-year book tag and the newbie book tag, and I found on a blog post the 20 question book tags. So I decided that it was a fun way for you to get to know me a little bit better and to get to know a little bit of my reading likes, my reading taste, and what I'm currently reading. So that's what I will be currently doing. I actually don't know who the original creator of this tag is, but before I get this video out, I will try and search for it so I can give them the right credit. So, without further ado, I don't have any more stuff to say in the intro, so let's get into the video. I have 20 questions to answer, and the first one is how many books is too many books in a book series? So, I think it depends. Well, I think a lot of people will say that it depends, but really, I think that there is two main points in it, so I can say it depends. Firstly, if you are really enjoying the series, if the series you feel like it could go for longer, so maybe some more books in it, but if it's not getting anywhere with the few two books, I think there's no point in making a very big series with that idea. So honestly, it will very much depend, because like my biggest series right now, I think, although they are very like separated in small series, Cassandra Clare has the Shadowhunter series and that has many trilogies inside of it, so that might be one that I really want to keep going with the books and with the world building. But there are others like Girls of Paper and Fire. I don't enjoy it a lot because I think it's dragging a bit too much, and two books would be enough to tell what the author wanted to be. So honestly, I think it really depends. If the author has more to say, not more to say, but if it is an enjoyable series. The second question that we have on this tag is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? So, in a way, I like them, but in a way, I also don't like them. Because I do like them because it leaves you wanting more, it leaves you expectant for what is going to happen in the second or in the next book. But also sometimes I don't like them because they can leave you in like a very big cliffhanger mid-plot sometimes. And I think when that happens, cliffhangers are very complicated to me. So I think it is, once again, it depends. I tend to like them because it leaves me on my toes to get on the next book, but also if I cannot get the next book right away, I get very frustrated with cliffhangers. The third question that I have is hardback or paperback. I think I am a mix of both because I have a lot of paperbacks, I have some hardbacks, but if I had to choose one, I would prefer hardbacks. But I don't get them as often because they are very expensive. So I tend to gravitate more towards paperback only because they are cheaper than hardbacks. If I could get more hardbacks, I would definitely get them more. The fourth question is favorite book. So I cannot give you a definite answer. I have a favorite books that I can show you. The first of my favorite books is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and this is the newest addition to my favorite books list because I really enjoyed this book when I was reading. Basically, we follow Violet, and she has been training her whole life to be a scribe, but when her days come to enroll in the school, her mother basically tells her that she has to go to the writer's quadrant instead of the scribe one. And there she starts facing some challenges, and she then meets a few dragons, and she meets her enemy that becomes lover. And oh, I loved this book so much. I had the best time with it, and honestly, this was a book that made me obsessed with dragon. The next book that I want to show you, it's called Almonds by Won Pyong-sun, and in this book we follow a boy and he does not have any emotions, so he cannot feel stuff that other people feel, and we get to know a little bit of his day-to-day life and how he struggles with not having emotions, because that affects his way of making friendships or of having relationship with other people. And I think this is a really awesome literary fiction, and it's a book that is a little bit different from what I normally read, but I did really enjoy this book. The other book that I want to show you that is one of my favorites is Chain of Gold, and honestly all the Last Hours trilogy are my favorites, and this book is by Cassandra Clare, and this is the last Shadowhunter trilogy that she has put out. But in this trilogy we follow Cornelia Casters and James Herondale, and they are both Shadowhunters. They are in the London, yeah, they are in the London Institute, and basically they have to fight a really big demon in this series, and a lot of things happens where James might have a spell on him, and Cordelia might like him, and then when that spell breaks, some stuff happens, and this book is honestly a lot. I can feel why a lot of people don't like Cassandra Clare, but I honestly love her, and I will always have the best time reading a Shadowhunters book. And the last book that I have on my list of favorite books is The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue. In this book we follow Eddie, who made a pact with a god or a demon that she shouldn't have, and basically we follow her through the years, and we follow how she gets remembered through the years, because, well, people cannot remember her, and we follow that. I love this book so much. It's a book that I cannot stop recommend because I had the best time with it. It made me feel like I was seeing life and like books and art through a different way, and I had an amazing time with it. The question number 5 is about my least favorite book, and I have at least 1 or 2 books that I want to talk about, and one of them is a book that I'm currently trying to finish, and that book is Circe. So I am currently reading Circe. I have this much left, and I have been putting it off because I am not liking. I can see why people like Madeline Miller's writing style. I think she does elaborate a lot what she wants to say and make stuff beautiful, but I cannot see the hype. I am not enjoying this. I am not having a great time with it, and honestly I feel like if you want a retelling, although I don't know many mythology retellings, I think there is something else for you besides Circe. But that's only my opinion, and honestly I think we can accept everyone's opinion, and I cannot wait to finish it, but I don't think that it will have a very high rating in my books because I am not having a great time with it. The 6th question is about love triangles and if it's a yes or a no. So, in my opinion, I think it's in between, because I like a love triangle where it's not very I don't know. I think I read a lot of love triangles because honestly nowadays a lot of books have them, but I do enjoy when you can tell what the romance interest will be from the get-go. So I think it will be a no, because if there is too much like back and forth between the person that the main character doesn't end up with, I think that can be very confusing. So for me it will be a no, because I like to know who the love interest is. So I think love triangles is a no for me. The seventh question is the most recent book you couldn't finish. So I don't have a very big tendency to do DNFs because I like to know where the story ends, but I do frequently soft DNFs where I pick a book and I'm just not in the mood to read it at the moment and I will then come back to it. So I will talk about one of my most recent soft DNFs, and that book is Mermaid Moon by Susanne Kokal. When I did my soft DNF on this, I was at page 182 and I did not finish this book because it was dragging a lot. It was really something that I was not enjoying, not having the best fun, and I thought that maybe I can give it a chance any other time. So this I think was one of my, not really most recently DNFs, but I think it was one DNF, soft DNF, that I can remember from a short amount of time ago. The eighth question is a book you are currently reading, and for the month of March I am going to be juggling between two books at a time. So the book that I'm reading for the whole month of March is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and I am loving this book so far. It's great. I love the characters. I am having the best time getting to know the magic system in it, and I am reading this book with Donna from Mom's Book Collection for a buddy read, and I think I can say for both of us, but we are having a very great time. And honestly, I was really afraid to start this book, but right now I'm just having such a blast that I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. And the second book that I am currently reading, as I've said earlier, is Circe by Madeline Miller, which I am not enjoying one single bit of it, but that's okay. It is part of reading books. You read books that you love and you read books that you don't love as much. These are currently the two books that I am juggling. The next question that I have, it's the ninth question, and it is last book you recommended to someone. So I am not sure what the last book is that I recommended to someone, because I am always on chat and talking about books, but I think that the last book that I recommended to someone was during sprints, and I think I know which one was it. Let me just get it. This person was looking for a book that is set in London, and I remember that I did read a book in January that had a bit some parts of it set it in London, and that book is The Principle of Moments by Esme Jakiemi Pearson. And in this book we follow Asha. She is a human living in the year of 6066, and she lives in a planet which is not very favorable to humans because they make humans slave and work in fabrics and build weapons for the emperor. But we also follow Obi, who is a time travel, and Obi is set it up, Regency London, and he someday time travels to the same time as Asha, and they start an adventure, a quest together where they have to follow this prophecy because otherwise something really bad will happen to the both of them. And Obi wants to return to London because until he completes this prophecy, he cannot return to London and to his lover, because London, it's not in this book in his best times. This was the last book that I recommended to someone. The 10th, we are already at the middle of the questions, and the 10th question that I have is oldest book you have read in terms of publication date. I did go to school, obviously, and I did study a bit some of the classics, so I might say some of them are the oldest books that I have ever read. Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, and I have read some of the Portuguese classics, so I guess those count. The next question is the opposite of our last question, and it is the most recent book in terms of publication date that I have read. And I think that that book I have just showed you, but it is once again The Principle of Moments by Esme Jakiemi Pearson. The 12th question is favorite author, and I am not sure at the moment because I have a lot of authors that are autobiographical, but the one that always comes to mind when talking about favorite authors is Cassandra Clare. I have pretty much all her books, as you can see up here, and I honestly always have the best time when reading her books. So I guess she is my favorite author. I think so. She is definitely my favorite author. The 13th question is buying books or borrowing books. So I don't borrow many books, mainly because where I live, our library does not have a lot of like more recent books, so I do tend to buy all of my books. So I think that's the answer. The 14th question is a book that I dislike but everyone else seems to love, and I have talked about this book a few times here already today, and that book will be Circe by Madeline Miller. I don't think Circe is really the problem. I think Madeline Miller's writing style is the biggest problem for me, so I'm sorry to all our fans, but I just am not having a great time. So the 15th question is bookmarks or dog ears. So when I was little, I used to dog ear a lot of my books because I didn't know the concept of bookmark. But since starting my book collection, my officially book collection, I have been enjoying using bookmarks. So I think that's the answer. And they don't need to be really fancy. I just use some of bookmarks that I got in like some local little markets or through the internet or wherever. I am currently using two bookmarks, both of them from Portuguese artists, which I really like. Yeah, I think that's it. I think my answer is going to be bookmarks because I don't want to be damaging my books. So currently I mainly use bookmarks because dog earing a book right now makes my heart hate. So the 16th question is a book you can always reread. I honestly don't know. I don't do many rereads of books normally because I have so many books that I want to get to read, and normally rereads don't really fit into my like TBR for the month and all of that. But I think if I had to reread a book that I would have the same fun as the first time. I think, once again, I really think, I'm not sure, I think it would be Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I want to reread this book sometime during 2024 because I want to annotate it. And since I had the best time reading this the first time, I think I will also have a really great time reading it for the second time, but the emotions will not be the same. But I think Fourth Wing is a good answer for me. The 17th question is, can you read while hearing music? And No, I cannot. I get distracted mostly because my brain works in English and in Portuguese, and I cannot like focus on with each one at a time. I can only listen to like lo-fi music and music without the lyrics, because otherwise I will be too distracted to follow either the music or my book. So the 18th question is one point of view or multiple point of views. This is a hard question because I enjoy both, so I cannot give you an answer because I do like one point of view, but I sometimes think that depending on the book, they might be a bit lacking, but also when done well, multiple point of views is really good because you get the perspective of a few more characters in them. So I think both, because I do enjoy both of them and I have a really nice time reading books with one point of view, but also books with multiple points of view. The 19th question is, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? And I am not someone that is capable to be like reading for a full day. I can read half a book for one day, but I cannot finish a book in just one day. So I do prefer to read a book in multiple days because that's just easier for me, and my brain works a lot better when it's read in multiple days besides just one full day. So for our last question, I have to tag a few people to do this book tag, and honestly I have a hard time tagging people because I don't know, I never know if people can do it. I will be tagging 3 lovely friends from the booktube community that I have been getting to know over the past few months, and those people are Laura from the book Hermit. I think they will do an amazing job answering to these questions, and it is also an amazing tag to know a little bit more about their likes on books and their likes on stuff related to books. The second person that I will be tagging is Katy from I Would Rather Be Reading. I think that she would do an amazing job answering these questions also, and I really want to know a little bit more of her deep book related stuff. So, and the last person is going to be James from James Too Good, and I really want to know him a little bit better, so I think through this tag I think that it will be a really good opportunity for that. So I think these 3 lovely people are the ones that I will be tagging for today's video, and I think that's it for all the questions. I don't know why, but this was such a hard tag to do. I always get very tired when I finish filming sit-down videos because I am always very on edge when I film them, but honestly it's done, I have filmed it, and I am very happy with the result of them. So I think this is all that I have for today's video, and if you have reached this part of the video, please leave a book sack emoji down in the comments, because I would really appreciate that to know if you have stayed so far or not. And also, since you are down there, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and also give it a thumbs up, because I would really appreciate it. And I think that's it. I don't have much more to say. If you are on my sprint, I will see you next time that I am live, but if not, I hope you have an amazing day, evening or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. So until then, I hope you are well. I don't know, I am always so awkward when filming this, so bye bye.